Thank you.
We are recording.
Fabulous. Thank you, Isabel. So welcome. I probably appreciate this is a little bit backwards because we have already had at least one SLT meeting, but hopefully this one will set you up more for the next few that we'll be doing, which will have a bit more of a meeting focus, as the last one was more like workshoppy, if that's a word. So if you want to move forward, please, Kira. So, like I said, so I'll just cover a brief bit about the actual SLT quarterly meeting because that's what the SLT reports are for. And then we'll go through sort of the reports, how they're written. And then I do have a small discussion item, which if we do run out of time, can be taken offline as well. So if we move forward, please. Thank you. So just a bit of a brief outline of the process in terms of SLT meetings and reports. So we have a meeting every quarter that's all SLT members attend, and it's a place for us to be able to discuss areas of work. Some that can be priority areas, it can be student issues, anything else that comes up throughout that quarter. Prior to that, then all SLT members should be submitting a report. The report is then used to inform the wider student body of what it is that we've actually been doing for the past quarter. It makes us accountable to students, and it just sort of gives us that focus that we are doing what we said we would. There are a set of papers which you saw at the last lot that are updates from different areas within the association. So they're sent out to you roughly a couple of weeks beforehand, and then in the week before the meeting, you go onto the team space, you approve, note them, whatever it is the paper has asked you to do. And then obviously we have the meeting, and then following the meeting, all the minutes are sort of formalised and put together and then sent into the team space to be approved. And then I believe we put them on our web pages as well, unless obviously there's anything confidential. So if you move forward, please, Kira. So as I said, the meetings, they are a chance for us all to get together. There can be a mix of, like we saw last time, so we'll have some discussion items, some workshops, some will just be all discussion items. It will depend on the agenda. Any SLT member can add to the agenda as well. So we have any other business. So if at any point leading up to the meeting or the meeting itself, if there's something you want to raise with the team, please let either myself or it's normally Gabby know. So either myself or whoever the staff member is that's sort of organising the meeting, just give us a shout and we can make that space in the agenda for you. And they are all held on a Saturday during the SLT weekend, and they'll either be hybrid or online. Thank you. So as I said, so there's the papers that you need to make sure that you're reading beforehand. And then there is a link in the PowerPoint which you've all got that will take you to the team space that you need to be making those comments. It's also really important that as we are approaching quarterly meetings that we are aware of any deadlines or any asks for information from the staff team. So it's normally around, that is correct, Sharon, though the February date was moved. I'll get that updated.
Yeah, I was just going to say the same.
Yeah,
so it's
the 14th to the 16th for February. Yeah. So what we'll do is the staff team will send out an email. Normally it's asking for you, or it'll be in the team space. It will, yes, Dan. I'll buy you all roses. So it's normally in the team space, and then so team space or email, sorry, and they will send you that out asking for you to confirm your attendance. If it's face to face, to confirm accommodation, food, any other bits of information that we need, and then also whether you want your papers printed and sent to you, etc. If you do not respond to any of these emails, there is a good chance that if you turn up in Milton Keynes, you won't have a bed and you won't have any food. If you are online and you don't answer about printed papers, they won't be sent to you. So just please be aware of these because they can be quite important, and we don't want anyone to miss what is actually really good time. I love the SLT weekends. The meetings, whether online or face to face, are always really good, and they're a really good chance for us all to catch up on the work that we've done, and also obviously start new work as well. Yes, if you can move forward, please, Kira. So this is the part of the SLT meetings that was missed off last time because everything was just very new and there probably was not a lot to report from us other than to say we've attended a lot of onboarding and a lot of training. So prior to your SLT quarterly meeting, there is an SLT report that is sent out and it's should be completed 3 weeks before the quarterly meeting. And then the week after that, so 2 weeks before the meeting, it is then published for students or for whoever looks at the website to have a look at it. And then again, this is just covering all sorts of things that you've been doing throughout that quarter. They can be remit specific, so it could be that you've attended a committee meeting or perhaps you've represented the association at a face-to-face event. It doesn't need to be spectacular and out of this world. You don't have to have gone above and beyond. Just anything and everything that you are doing, it's really important that we're showing students that actually, we're in the spaces that we need to be in. We're having the important conversations that we should be having, particularly I think throughout our term, which has already started off with quite a bang. It's going to be really important that we are yeah, Sharon, so if you've attended a conference, if you've done anything like that within the capacity, graduation volunteering, because I know some of you have done that, meetups, anything like that, anything that you're doing. And like I say, even if you've just, been in an email conversation with someone that's been actually really important, you can note it down as well. Um, so thank you. So yeah, so this sort of covers a little bit more about what it is that you can pop in there. So again, this can be any particular projects. So we'll have at some point project leads that will be working on the priority area projects. Sometimes we'll have students that will contact us with certain issues, or we may have a conversation with students quite often that are picked up within the sort of the Facebook area or anything like that. There seems to be a general student consensus that actually, if you send me an email, we can have a talk, we can chat about it, that sort of thing. You can pop those into your report as well. And then any sort of communication or interactions that you've had with students, that could be through social media. For example, if you've posted a particular, so I posted about my graduation, that got quite a lot of traffic. People have posted about their module results. Perhaps you've posted about some work that you've been doing. Any Hoot articles, you can include the links to all of those as well. And obviously with OU Student Connect coming in, it'd be quite good to get, if people have started conversations in those spaces as well, you can put a link to that into the report, and all of that will be put together by the staff team. So when it comes to writing your report, I've put a link in the presentation to the Microsoft form. Bear in mind, this is still set up for the previous term, so there are a lot of changes that need to be made to it, and we need to put our own priority areas in, etc. I just wanted you to have a look at the form and what it is that you'll be filling out. So it's quite an easy form to fill out. There's lots of prompts, there's lots of information on how to put things, how to word what you're putting. So we did it last term and I think it works quite well, and it's a lot easier for the staff team, where we say, rather than saying, oh, Natalie's done this, it will say the president has or VP community did. It takes a bit of getting used to start with, but after a while you get used to writing it, and it's just easier for them to be able to put the report together instead of having to go through and change everyone's names and titles and things. And again, if you have any issues with this and putting this together, like I said, there's plenty of help available from the staff team. You can contact myself, or I think, to be fair, on this one it just says to contact Gareth, but I don't think that will fall quite within his remit anymore. But yeah, if you can just drop Gabby or myself or anyone an email, and we can find out the right person, or we'll sort it out anyway, whatever it is that you needed. It's a great way to keep a record of your work as well. So the form itself is always open throughout the quarter, so you can add to it. So if you do something in particular and you want to note it down, you can pop it in the report, but then you can come back another day and do another thing. So it just keeps populating that information for you. Um, I'll be honest, when I was last term, I would forget a lot. So I tended to just go back through my calendar and be like, because you look at the form and you go, I've not done anything for these past so long. And then you'll look at your calendar and go, actually, no, I did this, this, and this. So it's quite good chance. It's a good way to sort of keep a track on what it is that you're doing, because sometimes you can not feel very productive, but actually you'll realise you've done quite a lot. And then one thing to be aware of, obviously, with these reports is the information that you are sharing. So there might be things that we can't discuss. So, for example, I can't say exactly what's happened in a council meeting, if because quite often a lot of that is confidential. But what I can say is that I attended the council meeting, or I've attended Senate, or you can give the titles of the meetings if you need to, or just the general theme, but you don't necessarily have to divulge the exact conversations that were had, unless, of course, you're absolutely allowed to, and it's something that students should know. Again, if you're a bit concerned, or if you're not sure, just let one of us know, and we can have a look at it, or we can reword it. Yes, so I've also included some examples from the report. So this was the last one that we did in the last term, just so you've got a feel for the sort of things that we would report. And again, they don't have to be along these lines. You can add in anything that you want. So the one that I've put in from the student member of council at the bottom, this is one of those ones where they couldn't exactly say what was said. They couldn't divulge who had won certain contracts, but they could say that they'd been involved in those conversations, and that they'd attended those meetings. There is a link in the presentation, but I will post it now. If anybody wants to have a look at the previous reports, so there's a whole section still on the association website with the full reports on, so you can have a look at sort of how they were laid out, and the sort of things that we reported on previously. Yeah, so we move. Okay, so thankfully I've left a lot of time to be able to discuss this. So this is the one area that I think we could probably really improve on, and that is how we're sharing the report and getting students engaged with the reports. So at the moment, they go out they're posted on our webpage. They're quite a long document. You can click through links and things like that, but I don't think we get a lot of engagement with that from students. We do send out sort of messages to say, or we'll post to say we've updated our SLT reports, and I think it goes out in the newsletter as well. So yeah, if anyone has got any ideas on the way in which we can lay them out, anything to do with how we can communicate them to a wider audience. Go on, Nicola.
I just want to say, I think maybe the use of infographics, images, something, because it's quite. I mean, the engagement on them, the way that we do the reports now, has increased, and I try and, from the way that we were doing it in previous terms. But yeah, yeah, I think there's quite a few ideas that we can definitely have a look at. Hopefully others have got some ideas as well.
Sure.
Sorry if I suddenly go off, it's my internet again. But I wanted to ask, one, anything to do with the faculty reps that's going on Facebook, can it go on the Wells or STEM OU Connect? And can these reports go on the Connect sites?
So, I mean, I don't know whether that is something that we can do in OU Connect. I'll be honest. I mean, it probably would make sense to put them there, but it's just where and how we would facilitate that. But that's definitely something we can
I think I've
look
frozen.
into. In terms of if there's anything that's being shared on Facebook, then you are more than welcome to copy that and put that into your faculty spaces or
Yeah,
any
it's not that
conversation
easy.
area.
Okay, to try and get it off Facebook. Oh,
So,
for God's sake, stupid. Sorry. Teams is playing up again, or my internet is. It's like Katie, Nicola, and I put introductions on Only Connect. But our conversations weren't transferred to the new feed.
right, okay.
So Katie had introduced herself, Nicola had, I had. The feed we set up was taken down.
Yeah, that's something that we'll have a look into after this. I'll speak to, I think Amy is in charge of sort of OU Connect, and we'll have a look into that one for you, Sharon.
But I think
Isabel?
if we can put anything we're doing in a thread on that, even in the general chat, so different faculties join the general chat, Scott, me, Jack, Isabel and Andrew at the moment, it will highlight what we're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, and then again, that's another thing you can always check if you feel like you can't remember exactly what it is that you've been up to. And also when you are sharing in OU Connect, if you can sometimes, like, it might help to drive people to that space by posting in other areas as well. So it seems a bit weird, but posting that on Twitter or posting it in the Facebook space that you've started those conversations can help drive people to that. So, Isabel?
Yes, it follows on this. Actually, it's how to reach a wider audience. What I've been doing since I started is in the international forum, for instance, I would then take out the bits that I put in my report, which has been published on the website. So I would put my bits in the international forum, say the international rep did this for that period. And if you want to read the full report of the SLT, then you can go to the association website. And I did the same with the International Students newsletter. Sometimes I would highlight a few things and then put the link to the website so that students can read more if they want. So yeah, that's what I've been doing to try and reach a bigger audience.
Yeah,
So,
no, that's great. That is.
And I like the idea of OU Student Connect, that we could do that. We could do that as well. I'm planning on doing that when the forum is moved to the once I get an international thread on OU Student Connect, then I'm planning on doing that as well. So
yeah, no, that's brilliant. And again, if we can do that in any spaces that we're in, and if anyone needs any sort of help or support, we've sort of taken that from the report and putting it into something else. Again, that's something that we can help with. Even if it's just copying it and putting it into a Word document, we can help you on those things. I was going to say something, but I forgot, so I'm going to go to Michael. Sorry.
Hey, hey guys. So just a couple of thoughts I've had. So I think that, yeah, Nicola, including images, including pictures, is a really good one, especially that really helps towards neurodiversity and ADHD. As from personal experience, I can say that if this is going to be published as a big document, then seeing pictures is much more eye-catching and much more engaging. And I'd be much more likely to read through it and actually see what's on the page. Then a big part is also just breaking down the information. So rather than just say one big document, we did this, because I know that, again, that for a lot of neurodiverse individuals, that's not going to be very helpful, very digestible. And this is quite a complex idea, but something I had was, could we have like a dedicated linked website or web page to the association, where we can kind of break each section down into tabs? So say a student in I don't know, living in Ireland, studying arts or sociology, maybe would only really be interested in what's happening with the Open Uni in Ireland and what's happening in the FAST department, and all the other information wouldn't really be that relevant to them, and may even make them not want to engage because there's so much to read through. Then just a few other thoughts are like, the Open Uni Student Connect is fantastic, but not every student knows about it. So we need to look at other modes of conveying the information as well, I think. So like maybe I don't know about you guys, but I'd be willing to put a report on my X account, and students can look through that, which if they're following their representative, will they're more likely to see it. And again, the Irish sociology student example, if they see the FAST representative and the Irish representative post it on their webpage, there's two on their X. There's two chances for them to see the information rather than just one. And then there'll also be some students who maybe struggle a little more with technology, and don't use social media and don't know about Open Uni Connect. So I wonder if maybe sending a physical publication through the post to some students would be an option.
Yeah. I don't know how we'd stand on a sustainability point of view for that one. But again, it's an area to explore. I think if we could maybe get some sort of, when we were publishing the report, if we had some sort of comms or something that we can share then, and so and that which then links to the report, then maybe that would help. That so we send those out every time we write a report or every time the report's published. So for example, we had just like those set images and things that we like how we kind of share stuff for Welcome Week or you know, any other event that we do. I think that would probably be really useful. Nicola?
So on what Michael was saying about communication around, obviously we send a flyer promoting the association. Maybe that flyer needs updating to actually include other things that we're doing that goes out to students with the modular materials.
Yeah, so you could have maybe a link or a QR code or something to that page where the reports are, and say,
yeah, that, and
check out
also
what
obviously
we're doing
for OU Connect to let students know that is now another option.
Yeah, I think at the moment, because we didn't want to go all in and make it too big, so everyone was a bit like, oh, what's going on here? We are trying to sort of do it slowly, but we will be picking that up. So yeah, I think that is probably a really good idea to get us. That goes to like pretty much every student, doesn't it? So yeah, I shall make a note of that. And Sharon?
It does. As a postgrad, I've never had the flyer. And I've been back through all my bits and pieces. So it seems to go to undergrads, but not postgrads. But the other thing is, could we not put a camel message out to all students? Like the news items that have gone out, which I nearly missed because 5 news items went out in a day. It's just a thought.
Yeah. Yeah, again, that's something that we can have a look into. And there is obviously a bit of potential there to be able to reach the postgrad market, because that's one area of students that we don't tend to engage with a lot. So it's quite a clear.
It's something Nicola and I talked about, because the wellbeing handbook information and the wellbeing handbook goes out to undergrads, but I've never had it as a postgrad.
Yeah, that is something we need to look at. I didn't realise that obviously until you've obviously told me. Yeah, not
I
sure why
get
that
the
is.
normal, I get the normal, cite it right, all the bloody blah. But I've never had the wellbeing handbook that Nicola worked on. I've never had the flyer, but I didn't know about the Student Association.
The student wellbeing handbook that didn't go out as a physical thing. That was actually on. That's never gone. The student wellbeing handbook that I did it as a student ambassador for ECIS.
Yeah, but I didn't know about it till I was a student ambassador.
Which, I was just going to say as well, Isabel, around the flyer as an undergrad, I nearly missed them early on because it was literally stuck under. If I hadn't gone back and had a look before I threw it in the bin, I wouldn't have actually found it the first time I got it because it was literally stuck under the flap of the cardboard that my module materials came into. So I think some students missed it the first time around.
Yeah. I mean,
I've
as
actually
I said,
never had it, never for any module, never. So no, maybe they don't do it for international students, or because at some point, my first years, I got the regular books and later on the compound books, but I never had a flyer, never.
I've never had a flyer as a postgrad, and the information you get as a postgrad is different to an undergrad. So as a postgrad, I've never got to cite it right, the quick reference guide, which I always got as an undergrad. So again, it's the differences across the university.
Which again goes to a lot of the work that we'll be doing, and we talked about the other week around this consistency of information that students are receiving. So again, another chance for us to maybe have a say in that and get that consistent message out to students, not just about the reports but about us and who we are as well. So a little bit of a 2-for-1 on that one. So I'm very conscious that we are about to hit obviously at 6:30. I nearly said 8:30 then because mine says 1800. So what
sorry.
So some key reminders around SLT meetings, around your reports, etc. So make sure that where possible you're sort of keeping a note of the work that you're doing, because the work you're doing is going to be important, and it's really important that we get people seeing that, and obviously that's acknowledged as well. Be aware of any deadlines. So a little bit closer to the meeting, we'll pop the deadlines. That normally the report deadline goes in the calendar as a reminder as well, just so that, and you will get probably a few nudges from us if you haven't responded to anything, and then go in and approve or comment on your correspondence papers, etc. And if you have any issues or questions, please raise them with the exec support team. What we'll do is we'll go away, we'll sort the report out and make it our report. And so it's for us, it's our priority areas, and it's the work that we'll be doing, and we'll send that out to you so you can have a look through. If you've got any comments, anything like that, any issues with the form, please let us know. We're not what's the word, like, it's not a hill or die on about this report, it has to be done this way. If after the first round of doing it we think there's changes, we think there's a better way of doing it, etc., please speak up, let us know, and again we can add those changes in as we go throughout the term. It's just that this is how we did it before and it worked quite well in terms of staff and students, but we're a new team, so we might have a completely different way of doing it. So, and there's lots of other options. I will try and circulate at some point, because I think there's a lot of different ideas that we've got going that will work for a lot of the projects. Maybe getting a document put together or something that everyone can feed into, so we can capture all of these ideas and keep them all in one place. And then we can see where they fit within the priority areas as well. So I appreciate that was a very quick whistle-stop tour on meetings and reports, and there was no way I was going to ever cover everything in the half an hour. But as always, if anyone's got any questions, if there's any issues at all, please just drop me a message, email one of the team, speak to your staff links, etc., and we'll help you as best we can.